Huh? For some reason, Russian server removed the assets of the FV225 Crossbow, the box, the premium tier 8, even though we already covered it back in May. It's a boxy import from the console version of the game, but now we have it at tier 10 as a special British heavy tank. Alright, it is upgraded from the L7 twin guns to a 110, even though less alpha damage than the L7 copy. Has 10 less alpha at 350 compared to Russian servers 360, but faster reload and supposedly better armor and better mobility, even though shifting from tier 8 to tier 10, so arbitrary, and name is also arbitrary. They call it the Collector. Terrible name. 6 degrees of gun depression. Even though cupola is small, you have no gun depression compared to the Canopener, the Super Conqueror, the Chieftains, the Griffin. So more like a breakthrough heavy tank than the usual versatile, right? That you used to. And you have to hide the hull a little bit better. Cannot use the hull down tactics as effectively as any other British heavy tank, but it's a box. There's a slight difference in the model, very slight, like the cable running along the starboard side. So I'll show you the difference in the model coming right up, but it's a box of a tank, so not that many weak spots other than the lower plate, or yeah, not really a shot trap into the driver hatch when you look at it. It could be like jamming right here underneath the matlet into the driver hatch, supposedly, but hey, no gun depression though. Yeah, can jam it right here from beneath the matlet, but small target. I mean, it's kind of cute when you look at it, right? Like a drawing of a tank from like a 5-year-old, but it's very boxy. Not many large cupolas or machine guns on top. It's not bad looking by all means, but side skirts for side scraping. And the gun is pretty huge. Has a special animation with the muzzle brake coming up and down with the double shotting in the siege mode. So garbage base accuracy, the worst, but practically no dispersion while traversing of our special siege mode, instead of the prep time and lock time compared to the Russian tanks. But 𝗙𝗮𝟮𝟮𝟮 is the license plate different? Let's use tanks.gg, even though, yeah, it's practically the same model, but 01DC52, they changed the license plate somewhat, and there's no more cable on the starboard side. Jerry can, the tools, the spare track link are all practically the same. Even the bustle rack in the back or additional toolbox in the back, yeah, practically the same. Just different license plate. At least they changed it, right? At least they changed it. But I don't know. Let's take a look at the stats to see the difference. 350 alpha, and it's not even a HESH round. It's a high explosive round. So base shell velocity is good. High explosive anti-tank is kind of slow, but that's what you would expect out of a heat round. Now compare this to 360 alpha. Now less pin, of course, but 2 tiers lower, and this thing reloads faster at 6 seconds compared to 10. So obviously better DPM by 1000 more DPM. Yeah, about 6 seconds reload with 100% crew, but special siege mode is 3.5 seconds. It takes like 2 seconds to go into special siege mode, but 2 seconds to come out of it. So roughly 13 seconds for 700 alpha, which is not bad when you think about it, right? Comparable to the NC70 without the rammer thing. Yeah, but still 6 degrees, the gun depression sucks. 80 rounds, 5-man crew. It is a special tank, so get all the crew members from the can opener, but top speed will take a hit in special siege mode. 16 horsepower per ton ratio is not bad, but it's not crazy. Not like 20 for a heavy tank. And turret traverse will take a hit, but you're practically in the special siege mode and just switch right out of it after you fire most of the time. Health is not that plentiful. It's like a versatile. It's breakthrough, even though 250 turret front, it is sloped, and 150 hull front. Side armor is standard, like 2.5 inches or so, 76mm. At max, like 3 inches. And view range is kind of meh, 390. Radio is standard. I mean, high DPM when you look at it, right? But you have to finagle with the gun depression. That's the only downside. If this vehicle has 10 degrees of gun depression, not bad, even though lower than expected alpha damage, right? You can still surprise. It's actually 1.5 to switch into siege mode. I mean, that's relatively quick, but I rarely use the double shot on the can opener. So British double shotting is kind of weird. After you double shot, you have to wait for the full reload to get one shell off. Whereas for the double shot on Russian tanks, you just wait for one shell to reload, not two shells to reload to fire one round, right? So also switching the shells from like one reloaded to new shell takes like full reload time instead of like half the reload time. So it's weird. You take some getting used to the switching, but I mean, without using the double shot, it is very quick to reload, right? It plays like the Yo tank without gun depression, practically. I mean, Campbell's kind of crap. 4.2, it's a heavy tank. What do you expect? It is about 16 horsepower per ton ratio, but that's barely better than like 14 on the can opener, right? Can opener has pretty decent horsepower per ton ratio, and couple that with a turbocharger to make it go faster. So about 2 or 3 horsepower per ton ratio faster if you equip turbocharger on it, but still pretty high DPM. So you have to finagle with the gun depression, and the upside is you get the DPM out of it. So constant D-track, it's a thing, but it's a breakthrough heavy. I mean, could use more top speed when you think about it. But then again, British vehicles are not known for being too fast, like 60 km/h top speed. It seems fair. At this point, it seems fair, right? With 250 turret front and 150 hull front. So it's a lot different on the Russian server. Russian server is 150 turret front and 100 hull front. So dramatically better, but it'll be funny if they didn't change the armor. So on paper, it is 250 underneath the mantlet. It's still 150 for the rest of the turret. That would be funny. Also 150 for the driver hatch and 100 for the rest of the vehicle. So it'll be funny if they only change the value on the paper and not the actual collision model. It's still the same armor value, even though they just changed the number around from like 100 to 150, right? From like 150 to 250. So it's still the same armor, even though change it on the numerical value on paper practically. But large side skirts and space armor covering the hull sides, that's pretty good. So wonder if they'll nerf it like the 𝗙cie𝗹𝗹𝗮, remove the space armor entirely. It's not even there. So I mean, space armor 76, actually 20 for space armor, and 12.7 double layer space armor. That's crazy. Huh. There, it might be the tracks, but yeah, tracks are 25. So tracks will eat some of the shells, but space armor is 12.7. So side scraping is actually not half bad. Not half bad, right? Especially against heat rounds. But that's entire cover of the side armor with space armor. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Surprising side armor. Downside to it is no gun depression. And some gun depression, but not the usual like this, right? That's 10 degrees. That's pretty good. That's 6. You could still hide the cupola, but yeah, not as effective. Hold down. It's mostly because this part of the top of the mantlet or behind the mantlet. If this part was actually larger, you could actually have 10 degrees gun depression, but yeah, this is the limiting factor on the actual gun depression. Whatever. So yeah, definitely better DPM, obviously, and faster reload, even though alpha is less at the cost. Well, they have the prep time and lock time on the Russian server, but it's also pretty quick if I remember correctly. 1.5 to prep. Lock time is 4 seconds. I think it would be a lot better without the special mode. Just use the lock time and prep time, right? But yeah, accuracy, it's fine. 0.34. Well, yeah, it seems fair. We could see it in assembly shop, right? We could see it in assembly shop, but this year already has like 2 tier 10 British heavy tank already coming out, or 3, including the can opener. So why is it the year of the British heavy tanks at tier 10? Alright, equipment wise, more health. Alright, better. Side scraping is not bad, including the space armor. So improve hardening, definitely. Help out with the side scraping and getting your tracks back after being blown off. So improve hardening. Vertical stabilizer, especially for single shotting mode. In double shotting, you have practically no dispersion, but garbage base accuracy. And finally, turbocharger. You're playing as a breakthrough, not a versatile, right? So better mobility, increasing the top speed even more to like 45, 46 with engineering, but yeah, make it go faster. Definitely make it go faster. Is it breakthrough? It is breakthrough. Alright, it's not versatile. There's a difference. So the first time we're seeing British breakthrough tier 10 heavy tanks. Yeah, they don't have breakthrough. So remove British. Which vehicle did I finish? I'll use 5A. I guess I'll use the 5A field mods practically. First one, track health or terrain resistance. If you already have improved hardening, go with better terrain resistance. Go faster. So yeah, definitely need improved hardening. Coupled with this one, yeah, not bad. Accuracy or aim time? Accuracy. Definitely accuracy. Aim time's already quick enough. Yeah, 1.9, that's fine. And it will take a hit to like 2 seconds, but 2 seconds still pretty decent. So go with better accuracy, especially in double shot mode, even though aim time in double shot, you're already at close range if you're already double shotting. So yeah, better accuracy. View range, stun duration. View range, sometimes no artillery, sometimes you're behind cover, sometimes 𝗙𝗮𝟮🱗 pops up and you're good to go. So yeah, 𝗙𝗮𝟮🱗 and the Great Wall of China is a terrible map for artillery. I know, because I play a lot of artillery. Top speed or traverse speed and aim speed. Top speed. Go faster. Always go faster towards key positions. And 4 is pretty prominent, right? That's very close to a turbocharger. So yeah, definitely top speed. And finally, HP or dispersion with traversing. HP is not that much. 2% is like 100 hit points. So not crazy enough, right? Go with better dispersion while traversing. But overall, the name sucks. The name doesn't matter. But FV225, it feels fair, right? It depends on the bottom plate. Let's see. Bottom plate should be pretty crap. Should be. About 200. So upper plate about 270. Gold shell will jam through. Some parts are 225. So definitely not the strongest. If this vehicle has 10 degrees gun depression, it will be so much better. There's a shock trap, by the way. Actually, that's not even a shock trap. It's just flat armor underneath the mantlet. That sucks. It's only 200 underneath the mantlet. The cheeks are slow, but underneath the mantlet, that's flat 200. So you could bounce a few, especially with side scraping, right? Don't overcommit to the side scrape, but you could bounce a few. Oh, yeah, you really should not. 30 degrees is pretty much max. Don't overcommit to side scraping. But if only this thing has 10 degrees gun depression, right? It'll be so much better. So much better, but I don't know. It feels in the right scenario, right? On Himmelsdorf, with flat terrain, nobody has gun depression, right? Unless you go towards the castle. But if you're doing the banana, everybody's flat. You're pretty good to go, right? That negates the Super Conqueror's gun depression or Canopener's gun depression when your DPM will come into play. But it feels fine. Doesn't feel overpowered unless it has the gun depression or better hull armor, right? Or better turret armor. But for now, 5.5, right? It feels fine. I mean, it's not the fastest. It's not like 20 horsepower per ton ratio with like 50, 55 kilometers per hour top speed. So you are faster to get to key position, but not that much compared to a medium tank. But how can you make the gun work? Maybe have the Canopener or the Super Conqueror be the bait and be the scapegoat, taking all the heat, all the direction, or all the shots from you, and you flank around and shoot the sides, right? That would be possible with this thing. But for now, I'll stick to the Canopener, right? Canopener is pretty good. Very good. But yeah, remains to be proven. I'm just worried about the gun depression. Gun depression scares me. I mean, it's not like, yeah, you're having a breakthrough vehicle with this thing. This thing has 7? Actually, not 7. It's 5.5 degrees of gun depression. But very strong turret front other than the small lip of a cupola, right? And basically, mobility. This thing has 55 kilometers per hour top speed. So 17 without the horsepower per ton ratio, without the turbocharger 2, and doesn't compare to an IS-7, right? So it's not the fastest of a breakthrough heavy tank, and medium tanks will probably do the same stuff better. But if you want armor, you play Canopener at this point. So you have better option in the Super Conqueror, in the Canopener, tech tree vehicles. But the Griffin is a support, doesn't really count. But they need to buff this vehicle. this thing needs a buff. But overall, 5.5 I feel is fair. On certain maps, when it's flat, like Ruinberg, like Himmelsdorf, some of the flatter maps, when you think about it, you have the advantage without opponents having gun depression, right? It's a flat map. But if you're on stuff like Redshire, oh crap, West Hill or Westfield, whatever, the British map, you are screwed with 6 degrees gun depression, and opponents have 10, right? Sometimes even 12, where it's Japanese heavy tank. So I've been playing the Japanese Type 68, and boy howdy, gun depression matters. 12 degrees of gun depression matters compared to 10 on stuff like this. Dramatically, and you'll feel it. Even though both cupolas are the main weak spot, you'll feel no cupola weak spot when you're fully gun depressed with this thing. So yeah, gun depression in today's meta is very key, and having 6 is not great. So 5.5 out of 10. Well, there you go, folks. The Crossbow, or now called Collector, name sucks, FV225, but it will be funny if we see any other vehicle like the Condor coming from the Russian server. The whole slew of British double barrel that's slightly different than our version. They have the Cyclone, which is like a Sentinel or AE or AC experimental thing. Like the Australian version of the double barrel without the penile bow machine gun Cyclone. Also, they recycled the Canopener into the Celtic. They have this thing, so it's like a large box as well. So we'll see like possibly 3 additional double barrel version of British heavy tanks. Oh god, this turret looks ugly, especially the 𝗙𝗮𝟮🗮. The Canopener with the garbage turret and the Condor. So we'll possibly see the imports of these vehicles pretty much, but there you go, folks. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
あれが未来に何度でもずっと食らいつくこの間違いだらけの世界の中君には笑ってほしいからもう